And we are live. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties, so we're doing a little old school. Doesn't mean anything to you. It looks the same on your end. But yeah, if you guys hit up a highlighted chat, you won't see it up right now, but we'll have that fixed for Wednesday's show. But yeah. What's up, D?
Yeah, great game with Green Bay.
Mhm.
Much better than most people thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a blowout, but Baltimore played really well. I wouldn't say they played really well on defense, but I'm not gonna you know dump on the defense for giving up points to Aaron Rodgers with all the injuries that they had in the secondary and with the guys hitting the reserve list this week. I thought it was a really good game for Baltimore. The only thing I did not like the decision to go for two. I would have kicked the extra point, but I don't think that's a huge deal. The big deal is the play call to go for two. That was an awful play call.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Look. Um, I think Tyler Huntley played really well. I
Yeah.
think the defense, for the most part, the team as a whole played well, considering the injuries and people being out on for COVID and just all around. I thought they did a good job, and for the most part, I thought Wink and Greg Roman called a solid game.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, we're 8-6, and we've just lost three in a row. And
Yeah.
like you said, man, the situational play calling that is 100% on Harbaugh. Uh, we took off 7 minutes on our first drive, and okay, we want to get a touchdown there. I get wanting to be aggressive, and you're down there. You're not sure how the rest of the game's going to go, but
Yeah.
take the points, man. Take the points,
Mm-hmm.
right? You do that. It's the coming down to the end. It's a completely different play call, and going for two right there to me. I understand. You're thin in the defense, but for the most part, they played pretty solid the whole game. You got to trust them to hold them for 40 seconds, right? Um, that's just completely deflating, man. Completely deflating.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to the chat real quick. Attitude Pop is here. What's up? He says, still think Tyler Huntley is trash. I told you he was good. Lamar told you he's our secret weapon, and y'all didn't listen. Steelers or Broncos, come get him while you can. All right, man. Look, see, let me tell you something, Attitude Pop, because you're still a kid. We've seen stuff like this
Yeah.
over and over and over. This is the backup quarterback syndrome, right? Great game for him. Good job. He did what a backup's supposed to do when a starter is not in. That doesn't make him a full time starting caliber quarterback.
I mean, listen. He played really well today, considering the circumstances. He threw 40 passes for 215 yards. Let's
Yeah.
not get carried away. All right. He did really well today, and that's it. That's what it
Hey,
is.
can y'all hear me okay? Noah's asking what's up
I
with
can
my mic.
hear you. It's just it has that kind of sound like you're there's something in the room, kind of like you're in a large room with an echo or something like that. But I mean, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, it's one of those days, man. I don't know. I don't know. Everything's off today. Okay, Ravens are off. Panthers are off. My mic is off.
I mean, because if we want to go down that road with Tyler Huntley's just a good quarterback, right? Then I want to see a whole bunch of comments in that chat room trashing him for that 2 point for the throw on the 2 point conversion, like I saw with Lamar Jackson when he was a couple inches off to Mark Andrews with TJ Watt in his face. Tyler Huntley rolled out and threw the ball to Mark Andrews, and Andrews didn't even have a chance to get a hand on it. Like, if you just want to go down this Tyler Huntley's a good quarterback road.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, okay, Tyler Huntley did a good job. How far are we taking this? Are we saying he's on Lamar's level because Lamar gets scrutinized for, like he said, like those same type of passes, those overthrown passes that we told you guys every quarterback makes, right? I thought he did. I think he did a good job. I'm not taking anything away
Yeah.
from Tyler Huntley, but like, what do you think you're gonna get for him? Like, nobody's giving up a first round pick or even a second round pick for him. Like, that's what it comes down to, right? We got a backup that can come in when Lamar can't play. Hopefully, that's not often, and we're happy with that. Davon says, LBHT crew, what's up? Ron TV says, put some respect on Tyler Huntley. Yeah, man, respect to him. Big Reg 29 says, I told y'all Huntley is a good QB. Our coaching is trash though. We'll see. I mean, like I said, Tyler Huntley has played 2 full games.
He started 2 games.
Yeah. Okay, that's a sample size. That doesn't. I mean, any bad quarterback can have 2 good games. And I'm not saying Huntley is a bad quarterback, but I'm just saying like, let's pump the brakes.
I'll just say this as well. The O-line wasn't bad today. Are they a good O-line? It's one game. It's one game against a bad defense, man. Yeah. It's okay. You don't have to overreact to every single thing that you see.
Right. Like we don't base our opinions just off of 1 or 2 games, right? Because the next thing we're gonna hear is, oh, how do you feel about Roman now? How do you feel about Wink now?
Omar B says, why roll out with no space? He's talking about the 2-point call. And exactly that. It was a terrible 2-point conversion call. They rolled out to the right side. There was 1 receiver there with 3 defenders. And he had to throw it to Andrews no matter what in that situation.
Right.
And, he missed the throw. But even if he didn't miss the throw, it's unlikely that you complete that.
Yeah. And shout out to Mikey from Off the Record Podcast. He says, what's up, Mikey? What's going on? King of Puka says, get that clown out of town. Yes. Danity, what's up, Danity? Cut Hardball water off. Cut it off.
Ron TV. This is the point, though, right? Huntley is still young. He's definitely going to get better. Yeah, and nobody said that he can't develop into a good starting quarterback. We're saying he's not that now. And playing 1 good game doesn't make him that now.
And what does that mean anyway? Okay, he's good, but like, where are we going with this? Right? We got a good backup. He started quality. Okay, cool. We didn't win, right? Like, we need somebody. We need to win the game. Like, he played better than I thought he would play. Congrats, and I'm not going to take anything away because I don't put this loss on Tyler Huntley. I put this loss squarely on the coaching.
And I'm seeing a few people in the chat saying he didn't have to go to Andrews and Hollywood was wide open. And listen, that might be true, but the point is you called a play for your second-year quarterback who's making his second start to roll out to the right with Mark Andrews as the primary receiver on a win or lose play. He's throwing the ball to Andrews 100%. He's not stopping with the trailing defenders coming after him. He's not stopping it, at that end of the field where everything is so condensed and scanning the field. He's throwing it where you told him to throw it in that situation. Yeah. And that was to Andrews. He was throwing that ball no matter what, which is why it was a bad call.
Right. And shout out to Brandon. He says, was 2-point play the right call? No, it wasn't the right call. No,
I think they should have. I mean, look, I'm all for being really aggressive and going for the win, but they should have kicked the extra point in that situation.
What's up, Ferris? Hashtag LBHT crew. What up?
What's up, Ferris?
Man? So it started out bad. it started out bad. 4th down and 4th and goal. I get it. You want to be aggressive there, but you take the points there, right? That was a bad call, but it's early in the game. It's not going to kill you. In the 4th quarter, when there's 12 minutes left in the game in the 4th quarter, and we're down a touchdown at that point.
Right.
Yeah, we're down a touchdown, and we're at our own 30-yard line, and we go for it on 4th down. Why? Like, way too early to be panicking, man. Punt the ball. Let your defense hold, because the defense did hold them.
Yeah.
The defense held them.
Well, and this is why I say this it's a whole different situation and why I wouldn't have gone for the 2. When they played Pittsburgh, I was all for them going for that 2-point conversion to win the game. I said it was the right call because the offense had been terrible all day long. The defense had been terrible in that quarter. And you don't have faith that you're going to go into that overtime and either be able to hold Pittsburgh's offense or be able to move the ball and score yourself. That wasn't the case in this game. The offense had been moving the ball consistently. The defense, they gave up a lot of points, but they had been playing pretty well, especially when you consider all the guys they had out in the secondary and who they were playing against. They were playing well. So it wasn't the same situation as the game against Pittsburgh at all. They should have kicked the extra point and gone to overtime.
Yeah, I agree. What's up, Kimberly? She says Ravens need to work hard and practice because we need to beat the Bengals on December 26th. Yes, we do. 3 losses in a row. That's what it comes down to. There are no moral victories, right?
Yeah.
3 losses, and these are losses that we should have had wins. They should be wins, right? And now we're up against it, right? The good news is we're in the AFC North where it doesn't seem like anybody wants to take the division. Um, the Bengals next week is a game that we have to have, right? And we have
Well, yeah,
to beat the Steelers.
they're not in first anymore.
Nope.
So yeah, it's go time for Baltimore. If they've got
Yeah.
anything left, they
Yeah.
got to start winning.
It's time to wake up. So all hands on deck. Lamar should be back for next week. News came out today that he doesn't have an ankle sprain. It was a bone bruise, which is not as severe apparently. So he should be good to go for next week, and we're gonna need him. All right. Q Jackson 124 says they wasn't going to beat Rodgers with 42 seconds left. Rodgers would have put them in field goal range.
It's possible, but if they get the 2-point conversion, he would have put them in field goal range anyway, right?
Right.
And they win the game.
Right.
And also, the defense literally just stopped Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that had
they came through and got the sack, forced the punt. No,
he's talking about when we Oh no. Yeah,
no, I'm saying on the previous possession, they just stopped Aaron Rodgers. And if you go for the 2, you get the 2. You're up by 1. He still has 42 seconds.
Yes. Yeah. I got confused with the other bad play call that we went for it on our own third. Yeah, that 2-point conversion had nothing to do with the defense there, right? Because like we said, you still got to stop him.
Yeah.
Right. You still got to stop him. He was just trying to be aggressive and trying to win the game there because he did think the defense could hold him. He just wanted to try to get the win now. I don't have a problem with being aggressive, but when you're aggressive, you got to make the right call, right? This goes back because this goes back to the Pittsburgh game on a 2-point conversion, right? Like you had to make sure that you guys can execute, and we just don't execute well at all. This has been from week 1. We just don't execute well at all. So to try to be that aggressive, man, I never feel comfortable when we try to go for 4th down.
Yeah, so Mr. J, real quick here. Yeah, Mr. J, the Panthers are currently number 7. So with the way they're looking, they are guaranteed to get a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Dandy thinks Huntley's going to get paid this offseason. Dandy, I'm rooting for him. I root for all black.
I mean, is he even a free agent?
I don't know, but if he is, I'm rooting for him. But the reality is, they ain't gonna pay him. We said this about Tyrod Taylor. We said the same thing, right? Tyrod Taylor came in a couple of games and looked good. He always came in preseason and looked great, right? But
y'all remember what was the dude's name? I keep wanting to say Matt Walsh, but it's not Matt Walsh. It's Matt something. But he was the backup for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And he came in. Aaron Rodgers was either sitting or he was hurt late in the season. He came in and he played Detroit. He threw 6 touchdowns. Got a huge contract because he was a free agent that season. Got a huge contract in Seattle. Never played another snap.
Matt Flynn.
Like, guys can come in and play well. It's the NFL. Every single person in that league can play. It's a question of can you do it consistently. Yeah. And you don't have any idea if Tyler Huntley can do it consistently. This is the first time that he's played well.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Living Legend, man. Living Legend. We had. I'll bring Living Legend back up here. Living Legend, man. We had a discussion. Okay, we had a discussion because if you guys weren't aware, Justin Houston was involved in a sack today. Okay, and we made a deal with Living Legend.
It doesn't sound good already. Was involved in a sack.
We made a deal with Living Legend that if Justin Houston gets to 7 sacks this season, we're gonna hook him up with something from the
LBC. Said it was a edge rusher involved QB sacking. That's what happened.
Listen. We credited Justin Houston with 2 sacks previously because we felt like he should have had the sack. Right. Mm-hmm. So his sack total came up to 6 coming into this game, unofficially, but officially in the LBHT world, right? And he got a half a sack today. And he got a half a sack. And We were debating should we credit him with a whole sack, but we decided, look, we said he has to get this next sack all by himself. So he needs a half a sack to get Living Legend his LBHT merch. So what is it? 3 games left? We got 3 games left?
Yeah.
Guys,
He needs
3
a
games.
half a sack in 3 games.
Half a sack in 3 games.
Okay?
Okay?
I, for one, I believe he can get it.
Yeah, I believe he could do it. I believe he can get it too. I believe he can get it too. But yeah, we can't give him a full one this time.
Any of you on the on Twitter, put up your prayer circles for Justin Houston.
Yes.
Get him back to the quarterback.
Yes. And Jay says he's here now. Yes, you are, my friend. Yes, you are. Kimberly says, Ravens, this last chance, go home. You need to win to at least 2 games to stay in the playoffs. That's what I've been saying. I think they need to beat the Bengals and they need to beat the Steelers. If they do that, they'll be in. Because I don't see the Browns. Honestly, I'm not sure if the Browns are going to win the game. But don't tell our friend Matt Thomas that. Shout out to you, Matt. Shout out to you, man. Let's see.
There you go, Matt. Houston going to get that sack. That's right.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Thinking positive. Daniel C. Roman top coordinator.
Andrew no, you missed the first. You missed the first comment. Daniel C. is a troll who doesn't actually know anything about football.
Oh well, I mean, you wasted. Well, look, we'll be one troll comment. The next one you gotta pay for. And how do you pay for it? Right below B. That's the $ LBHT show. That's a cash app. We don't do super chats. So if you're looking for a highlighted comment, you go ahead and hit that up or hit the Streamlabs link. That's not in this actual chat. It was in the last one. But leave a donation, leave a comment, and we'll read it on air. All right. Let's see. I can't believe we lost. We got to stop choking. Hollywood was open in the back of the end zone. Hey, man. It's the backup. Look, he's a backup for a reason, right? He did well for a backup. But, I mean, he wasn't going to find him. Right?
It's fine to be encouraged by the way he played. He's very young. You expect him to get better. And I think, he can probably develop into a pretty solid starter, but it's not where he's at right now.
Yeah.
That's fine. Everybody expected them to lose anyway. You're only upset because of the way it happened at this point.
I mean, look, you should be upset because, I expected them to lose. I thought they were going to get blown out, but they didn't, and they had a chance to win. And if we have a chance to win, I want to win, right? Like a blown out because I expected it. I'd be like, okay, fine. We don't have our strongest team out there. We don't have our leader Lamar out there. Fine. But when you have a chance, right, like that, that's when coaching matters. Yeah. Right. That's when they have to get it right. Like the decisions, 3 bad decisions that cost us a game, and that's 100% on John Harbaugh. That's 100% on John Harbaugh. Right. Like he lost us that game. And we're at the point in the season where we can't have that. That win would have been huge for us. This organization is amazing at selling dreams. Yes.
But so with Cincinnati winning their game over Denver, also, just want to take a moment and say, prayers to Teddy Bridgewater, who had a what looked like a pretty significant injury. He was carted off. I mean, they said he's in the hospital. He has movement in all his extremities, but they're keeping him for evaluation. For a head injury. So hopefully, he's fine and he'll be back very soon. But they played Cincinnati today. Cincinnati got the win. I believe it was 15-10. So now Cincinnati's number 1 in the North. They took over the number 1 spot from Baltimore. Cleveland has the Raiders tomorrow. If they win, I believe they will move into a tie for first, or maybe a tie for second. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that.
If Cleveland wins, I think they're in first because they beat Cincinnati.
But I'm not sure how it would work with Baltimore being tied with them as well.
Wait, are they tied? Oh yeah, that's a good point. No, because
all 3 of them be tied.
But Cleveland has more. I think they have 1 more division win than we do.
But Cincinnati has a better division and conference record than Cleveland, so I'm not sure which tiebreaker it goes to. But they'll all be 8-6 if Cleveland manages to win. I don't think they will, but we'll see. So moving forward, Baltimore's got the Rams, they've got the Steelers, and they've got the Bengals left. How are y'all feeling about their chances at making the playoffs?
Yeah. So Mikey says they'll have sole possession of first. You talking about the Bengals? I think it is the Bengals. I think they might. We gotta hope the Raiders win. I think they will win. I think there's a better team than the
Oh
Browns.
no, I got Couch Rider Raven. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
I'm
on
bored.
board. Fireballs.
What happened?
Oh
What
man.
happened?
Big Bear
Like,
says Baltimore's falling to third.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Um,
Oh, come on, Spirit. Don't make us remember that.
first time on really now this. Hey, shout out to you, man. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. We got 42 people in here. Hit that like button. If you're new,
Yes.
man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. A deep Mahmood, what's going on? It says Harbaugh was right with the 2-point decisions because Rodgers would still have a chance with a timeout to get at least a field goal against this patchwork secondary.
But
OT is not even guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed on that field. Nothing.
Even in that situation, if they get the 2 points
A
and
field goal
Rodgers
still
gets
loses.
into field goal, you still lose.
This isn't like what was it last week? What was it? Was it last week we went for 2?
No, well, I mean they did. They went early in the game, they didn't get it. And then they had to get the onside, and ultimately they failed.
That was different. That was different because we want you. That's when you want to see how we're going to call the rest of the game out, right? That's a time management thing. This wasn't a time management thing. This was just him saying, "I want to go for the win now because I don't want to go to overtime. I just want to go for the win now." And both scenarios, you're relying on your defense to hold Aaron Rodgers out of field goal range, right? So, okay, you're aggressive, and if you're gonna be aggressive, man, you better do it, right?
Yeah. QJ, Chris Westry got put on the reserve list. I don't know if it was yesterday or this morning, but he was put on the reserve list, so he couldn't play.
Yeah. Coyette Carter says, "Sup LBHT? Do you guys think we are doing too much with analytics?" No.
Listen, guys, analytics is not some kind of dirty word. Analytics is just data. That's all it is. It's just information. And the problem for Baltimore in this specific situation is like you have to pair the analytics with context and common sense, right? And sometimes coaches don't do that, and sometimes they do because I mean they're human, they make mistakes, it's fine. But analytics is just data. No, you always want more data.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. Let's see. John Hazeb Ali says fire EDC and Harbaugh now. All right, man. Couch Rider says decision making by this dude in clutch is hurting me. See, look, and I want to remind the chat because I see the troll is irritating some people. Look, you guys have the power, okay? Your mods, you have the power. We leave that to you, okay? We leave that to you to decide how you want to handle that, okay? I'm not saying how to do it. LBHT crew, you got that, all right? But Couch Rider, man, like you're on board now, but deep down inside, you were always on board, right? Because those things were always frustrating you. You didn't just come to that decision right at this game, right? And this is what we said last week. Like you are mad at the 2-point conversion, right? Attempt. You weren't mad at that. You're mad at everything leading up to that, right? You're mad that every single week. This is another week, by the way, where it comes down to the last drive, right? It's every single week we're in these close games, and it doesn't seem like we're making the right decisions. That's what you're frustrated about because this coaching staff is not getting it done this year. Yeah.
Kyle says, screw analytics. How about you look up his 2-point conversion stats? But, again, that's part of it, right? You have to know how your team is at in those situations. It's not necessarily, the league average is so-and-so, so we go every time. Yeah, you have to self-scout as well. And particularly for Baltimore, you have to take into account that you're missing a lot of players. So you're probably not even going to hit your own normal percentages in those scenarios. Yeah. But, like I said, you always want that information. It's just how you apply it. And right now, you can make an argument that John's not doing a great job of applying that information.
Yeah. All right. Josh Hoffman says they should worry about holding us out of field goal range. We have Tucker and they have Crosby. How about that? I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Danity says, ain't no way Harbaugh looked at the defense for this game and thought it was capable to not go for the 3 points. It's common sense at this point, not analytics.
Well, like I said, yeah, you have to combine common sense. I'm with Danity on that first drive. You absolutely take the 3 points right there, 100%, because you have to factor in the situation, and the situation is you're playing a much better team than you in this scenario.
So I'm gonna say this, right? Because again, it ain't just this one play; it's a culmination of the whole season of being aggressive and not working out for us. If all these things work out for us, if we win that Steelers game, if we win the Browns game, if we win this game by doing the same thing, it's just that the outcome is different. Nobody would have a problem with it, right? Because we're executing the play. It's us not succeeding is what's giving you issue with it. But let's look at the plays being called. Like they're not good plays being drawn up, right? And that's what Harbaugh needs to look at. Like, hey, this is how I want to coach down the stretch, right? Why can't we get it done on the field? Then that's when he needs to start looking at his coordinator and say, you're not drawing up the right things. Like we're not getting it right. I want to keep doing this stuff, but I don't trust you. I need somebody in here that I can trust that can get it done.
So Adit says analytical decision making is the way of the future in every sport, like it or not. Ravens, EDC, and Harbaugh are smart by incorporating it now into all aspects, including drafting and salaries. Listen, Adit, I wouldn't even say it's the future; it's the present in every sport.
Yeah.
People only refer to it as analytics when they're talking about going forward on fourth down. That thing that y'all love so much about Baltimore, that right player, right price, that is analytics. That's not EDC just has a scrap of paper in his back pocket or something. Like that is analytics that determines the right price for that player. They do use it in everything.
And I would argue, I would argue they do it half-assed, right? Because you're talking about Ravens, it says EDC, Harbaugh, Smart Bar incorporating it. But yeah, right player, right price, but also we want to be a run-heavy team and defensive team. That's antiquated. That's not analytics. Analytics doesn't tell you to be that kind of team. Right? Analytics doesn't tell you need to be the number one rushing team in order to win a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, and like I've said before, they don't do their due diligence when it comes to free agents. Like, nobody told you to go get Latavius Murray and Devontae Freeman as the replacements for J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Nobody told you that Des Bryant was going to work out. Nobody told you to sign Sammy Watkins. Like they do incorporate it, but again, like I said, they are humans. They have their own biases and they make mistakes.
Yeah,
so it is what it is.
AZ Stunner, what's going on? Win or lose, I'm a Ravens fan to the end, but this year I'm done with this team. This year because John and G-Roll are just 100% trash. And again, EDC needs to fire both of these guys. Pathetic. Season's not over, guys.
No.
Excuse me. It's not over. And look, every team in this division is looking at every fan base is looking at their team like, man, I don't know. All right. I don't know.
Everybody in the AFC except the Chiefs is looking at their team like that. The Patriots just got beat by the Colts.
Yeah.
And it wasn't particularly close, right?
Actually, yeah. I told you guys I wasn't really feeling the Patriots like that. Like what you see from the Patriots are they are a well-disciplined team. They're a very disciplined team, and they just weren't making a lot of mistakes. That's how they're pulling out these wins. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think they're as talented as some of these other teams. And I think the Colts are just a better team than them, right? The Colts could have had a much better record than they have right now. They lost a lot of close games.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the Dolphins are on a 6-game winning streak. Imagine if they didn't start out so poorly. They started 1-7.
Yes.
7-7.
Yeah.
The AFC is all over the place except for right now the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the only team who you can look at and say are playing really well right now. Yeah. They're the only ones.
Cash Ryan says he's emotional right now. Fire them. See, but again, you're emotional because you saw a chance to win the game. Nobody thought we were going to win that game, right? If it was 31-7, they just blew us out. You'd be like, oh well, means, it is what it is. But we had a chance, and rightfully so. I feel the same way, right? Like I want us to get that win. That would have made our lives so much easier, guys, if we'd have gotten that win.
Yeah.
So much easier. We stay in first place. We got to keep it going and beat the Bengals next week. But that would give us a comfortable lead at that point. But we're not out of look. It's not over. We can beat the Bengals, but we have to do it. The margin of error is almost gone.
I agree, Matt. He says, I wasn't mad at going for 2. I was mad at the play call. Yeah, no, I fully agree. Adit says, football analytics need to be constantly fixed. As someone who's experienced in this area, I have to make mistakes before I perfect the model. And that's true. And that's where, you come into the conflict, right? Because this is a team coming into the season who a lot of people, us included, thought was a Super Bowl contender. And you can make the argument either way, whether they should be trying to perfect their model in the middle of a season where they're also trying to make a championship run.
Bring that back up. I want to read something. All right, Adi, you're experienced in this area. You have to make mistakes before you perfect the model. How many years? How many years do you have to make mistakes before you perfect it? John Harbaugh, this ain't his first year. EDC, this ain't his first year, right? Like EDC's been here, like it's not even his first year as a GM. This is what, his third year?
Yeah.
Or fourth year, right? He was assistant GM here for a long time. So how many years do they need to perfect their model, right? Like in the NFL, you don't get that much time, right? He's had 3 full draft class. He's not a newbie here. So to say like, oh well, you gotta make mistakes before you get better. Well, when are you gonna get better? Harbaugh's brought in a lot of coaches here. He's brought in a lot of coaches, and most of them.
I think he's talking specifically about like going forward on 4th versus going for 2 points versus kicking the extra points.
This ain't the first year he's done stuff like that. Like he's done stuff.
No, but it does take a while. Football has the least sample size of any sport because they play way fewer games than everyone else. Yeah. In baseball, you play 162 games each team. Basketball and hockey, you're playing 82 games. Football only plays 16. So it's harder to build up that sample size, and I think the variations are great. Because when you look at football, the game has changed significantly in the recent past. So you're almost at a point where you're having to restart in compiling that data.
And it's fine as long as you're winning. You can keep playing around with that. We're on a 3-game losing streak. Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Do you do that in the midst of a season where you're trying to make a title run is a question. I don't think you do it when you're in there with your backup quarterback and you got 30 guys out, but that's just me. Sanjay Lee says,
what's up, Sanjay?
From a more casual fan, seems like Harbs can win if he has elite talent. Ray, Ed, Suggs, etc. 2008, 2012, or that's LJ 2018. He's a 500 coach or slightly above without elite talent. Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, no, he is right because Mike Tomlin's a 500 without elite talent. With poor talent.
With poor
Harbaugh, and this is what we say about him all the time with this coordinator specifically. They have to have elite talent all over the field because they can't coach. They can't develop players. They don't know how to get guys on the right page or on the same page communication wise. And so they have to have veteran players who already know what they're doing, who already are good at all the different aspects of their job.
Yeah,
that's not really the case with everyone,
Yeah. Mikey from Off the Record Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Mikey, man. Off the Record Podcast. They dope. I'll say this: if this team finds a way to get in, there'll be a team nobody wants to play. #stamp. That's a big if, though. I don't think it's a big if. I think the Ravens are going to get in, guys. I think they're going to get into the playoffs. I still think we're going to win anything. What's up, guys? So tired of beating ourselves every week. I feel you, man. I feel you on that. Dan D says, exactly. The model should have been perfected a while ago. His decisions making should be precise.
I'm sure that John Harbaugh would tell you his decision making is precise, and sometimes it just goes the other way. Like the model doesn't say if you go for 2 in this situation you're going to get it every time. It says, hey, if you're 4th and 5 on your own 30 and you're down 2 scores, you should go for it. You're going to get it 58% of the time. That means 42% you're not going to get it, right?
Yeah. There's still, look, this game, they're playing with house money. I think that's how they looked at it, right? They weren't, nobody expected them to win this game.
Yeah.
They played a close one. Like, it sucks how it ended, right? Nobody likes it because he really showed, he really made some bad decisions that cost us the game. But this isn't a game that we had to have. The next 3 games, well, 2 out of the next 3 games are games we have to have. Next week is I mean, no question about it. We have to have it. And I know the Bengals beat the brakes off of us last time, but I still think we're a better team than the Bengals, and they haven't been looking good lately either. All right. They barely beat a team with a Broncos team today without Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock, he ain't it, right? So I expect us to win, and if we beat them, and we go back and beat the Steelers, I think we take the division.
Son says we should have got a field goal on the first series.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. I don't agree at all with going for the 4th down there. Counterpoint to your Bengals haven't been playing well. We're going to beat them. Jamar Chase, and your secondary. Okay, so we'll see.
Look, Devontae Adams. You know, I mean,
I think you saw. I think you saw a little bit of Aaron Rodgers' hubris, which we all know that he has, and they didn't target Devontae Adams nearly as much as they should have. He's out here throwing it to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, throwing it to his tight ends.
I want to tell y'all something, man. Devontae Adams was open in every play. We got
Alan Lazard got way too many opportunities.
We got lucky. It was that close. It could have been a lot worse, man. Like, but look, Devontae Adams is probably the best wide receiver in the league. So I mean, you know, considering our secondary situation and the, you know, how he played, I'm good with the defense today. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But still,
Kimberly says, "Do you think the Bengals are number 1 or number 2 in the AFC North?" I think ultimately Baltimore will win the division, and I think Cincinnati will finish second. But you know, they're all playing each other over the last few weeks, so it's going to be interesting. We'll see.
Because look, when all things being equal, right, between the Ravens, the Steelers, the Bengals, the Browns, the only team that you know we really got to look at is the Steelers, right? Like the Browns, you know what they're about. They're about losing. The Bengals, you know what they're about. That's what they do.
Oh man, I gotta disagree with you on that one. I'm saying the Steelers are the Steelers, right? You've got Mike Tomlin. You have a team, a pretty veteran team who knows how to win. They know when they need to make plays and everything. That's why you've seen the last few weeks they've really turned it up in the 4th quarter, right? But the Bengals, man, like Joe Burrow is for real. Jamar Chase and Higgins, they are for real. So I'm not gonna say you can kind of look past them as all the same old Bengals. I'm
not disagreeing with that, but they're still about losing, right? Like
they're about winning right now.
I think just because you have the talent, like just that whole culture of losing year after year after year, it takes a while to shake that off, man. They're trying to shake it off, but I don't think it's happening this year.
They're 8-6. They're number 1. They're number 1 with 3 weeks left. So they're shaking it off. Is it crazy to say that Roman called a halfway decent game? I mean, he called a fine game.
Yeah, they called a fine game.
There was a lot of short passing, a lot of short, quick passing, which is what they've needed to do for a little while. It was a bad 2-point conversion call, but overall, it was fine today.
Yeah. At one point, I felt like A-Rod didn't miss a completion, even on run plays. It all just felt like completions. Yeah, I mean, their offense is more efficient than ours, right? I mean, our offense is clunky. I mean, that's but like I said, I don't have a problem with how we played overall as a team today, and for the most part, how it was coached, right, from the coordinators. I mean, I think Harbaugh did an awful job, but he did. He did. But like me and B said, man, like one game doesn't sway our opinion, right? Like we feel how we feel about this coaching staff, including John Harbaugh. And this isn't the end of the world, and we gotta see how we do with these next 3 games. And honestly, if we're being real about it, man, we should beat the Rams, right? I'm not a believer in them either. I think I think that's a home game for us if I'm correct. Like we should be able to take out Matt Stafford, man. But Matt wants to know: is my mic on? Can you guys hear me? Okay?
Yeah, he's just referring to the way it sounds.
Yeah. No, it's on. It's on. I don't know why it sounded like that, man. Like I don't know.
Like he says, Cleveland has Green Bay on a short week. I'm not worried about them. We must win, though. Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, you should be worried because Baltimore is just as likely to drop the game to the Rams as the Bengals are to drop their game to Green Bay.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me reset my mic. Let me try something here.
Okay.
Let me reset my mic. You go ahead and keep reading those comments.
Yeah. Hal says free Tyson. It's a little late, man. I think that ship has sailed. Tyson got a life sentence. I don't know what he did, but he ain't coming back. Just Allo, what's going on, Just Allo? He says, so how will the fans be calling for Huntley next week if Lamar throws a bad pass? Oh yeah, I mean I think there's probably some who are already calling for Huntley, but if Lamar comes back next week and plays poorly, you'll definitely be hearing a lot of we need to throw Tyler Huntley in the game. The season's almost over. The playoffs are on the line. Lamar's slumping. They'll try to couch it that way. It won't be just, oh, he's better than Lamar. It'll be, well, the season's almost done. We have to win this next game. Lamar's been in a slump. Tyler's playing well right now. Let's roll with the hot hand. And then as soon as it hits the offseason, those people will be saying, we don't need to pay Lamar. We got Tyler.
Hey, how's it sound now? Does it sound better?
Much better.
Guys, I think it might be time for a new mic. Mm-hmm. I think this is shorten this thing, man. This thing is I don't want to get rid of this mic, man. I love this thing.
It says Tyson on the Green Mile. yeah, he's not coming back. He's done.
Which is weird because the light was on the whole time.
Get a second or third for Huntley and call it a day. Listen, if somebody offers you a day 2 pick for Tyler Huntley, you say yes and run.
Yeah. Second or third. Guys, I think I say this every week to you guys, man. Every week, watch other games, right? Watch other games so you have an idea of how these other teams and these other players actually look, because the smallest things be just impressing you guys, man, and it should not.
Like I said, man, he threw 40 times for 215 yards.
Yeah,
that's not great.
We need to pin this right here, okay? New mic fund, pass the collection plate. Yes, you right below B right there, okay? $ LBHT show, okay? Hit up that Cash App, all right? Hit up that Cash App, make your donation, leave your comment, we'll read it on air, all right? Also, that Streamlabs link. Don't be afraid to click on that link, all right? Or if you want to be a long-term supporter of the show, you can hit up patreon.com right below me /LBHT show, all right? For as little as $3 a month. You get access to a bunch of goodies. B's gonna tell you about the tiers real quick, and I gotta tell you, these tiers are gonna be readjusted here pretty soon. All right, look, gas goes up, right? Bread and milk goes up. Okay, prices of Patreon gotta go up at some point. All right, so get in while the prices are excellent.
Yes, Couch says 36 people in the room need 36 likes. That's right. Thank you, Couch. Appreciate you, man. So yes, but with the Patreon right now, actually, we have one tier that's open. It's a $3 tier that gets you into our weekly overtime show that we do after our live show every Wednesday. All the patrons are in there. We talk about anything and everything we didn't get to on the show, other sports, movies, life, whatever. It's a lot of fun. We do that every week. It goes on for hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. You also get entrance into our yearly Pick'em League. This year it was a Survivor League where you pick one team. If they win, you advance. If they lose, you're out. Mike, you won it this year. We actually just went ahead and got that trophy ordered, so that'll be showing up pretty soon. Congratulations, Michael. I guess. But yeah, the $10 tier, it was previously the Founders tier because it came with our Founders coin, which looked like this if you don't remember. Yes. But those are all gone. So the $10 tier is closed for the moment. We're going to be opening another tier up very, very soon. We've got a new coin coming out probably in about a week or so. We should be getting those in the mail. Yeah, we should be getting those in the mail, and we'll be kind of readjusting the tiers at that point. We'll also be adding a new tier because if you weren't here last week, we mentioned we are going to be starting up a new podcast all about boxing called Ring Kings Pod with our friend here, Mikey, OTR Mike in the chat. So be on the lookout for that. And like I said, a readjustment of the rest of the Patreon tiers. But for right now, $3 will get you into the crew.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about running over to Chipotle to get you a burrito, right? Get your burrito. Just don't get the chips. All right. The chips they ain't even that good. They're too salty anyway. Just save that money that you're gonna use on the chips and go ahead and hit up the Patreon.
And we did get a couple of cash apps here. We apologize. We don't have the animation right now. Streamlabs kind of crapped out on us today. We got an anonymous cash app saying coaches Harbaugh, Roman, and Martindale need to go. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And thank you. We appreciate it.
And in fact, you know what we're gonna do on a Wednesday show? We're gonna give them the animation on Wednesday show. We're gonna yes.
And I got Mikey sending a cash app as well. For the champ is here with about let me see 15 exclamation points. We got it, Mike. We got it. You're here.
Yes. And just go ahead.
Yeah. Wow.
What's up, Deshaun? I didn't What's happening?
What's going on, man? I was just joking. You didn't need to hop in the stream, but thank you for coming through, man. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Eric L.
Eric L.
Thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate the regulars that come through here, man. I really do, man. Like I had so much fun. So last week on the overtime show, I was talking about how I didn't feel good right before we started the stream. I had a headache, and I told B, I was like, man, I'm not feeling it today. But as soon as we hit record, as soon as we hit go live, man, and I started talking to you guys, I felt great. Like my headache went away. I felt good. Got into the overtime show. I was like, man, I feel really good. Like this is therapeutic. Okay.
I was agreeing with you until I just saw Big Reg. Man, y'all are hurtful.
What do you say?
Hurtful. He said, hey, maybe it wasn't an off the charts game for Huntley, but we could have PJ Walker as a backup quarterback.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Jesus.
You know what, Big Reg? That's a perfect segue, man. Because we gotta talk about some Panthers. You guys see the thumbnail, okay? You see the thumbnail. You see who's on there. Matt Rhule. He is a problem.
Thank you, Deshaun. Appreciate you, man. Damn. Listen up, big. You gotta come back with a donation on Wednesday. Now, that ain't right. Okay, that ain't right. Listen. I know it's hurtful right now for Panthers Nation, right? Like you got a shot of adrenaline when you brought Cam Newton back, and that first game he scored against the Cardinals. Yeah, scored a couple times against the Cardinals. He won big, and you're like, man, this is how it should be. And then the adrenaline wore off, right? And we're back to reality that Matt Rhule is still your head coach. And Matt Rhule, man, week after week, like Cam hasn't been looking great, but overshadowing that is how bad Matt Rhule's been looking, right? And he attempted to throw Cam Newton under a bus today, but the problem is he's already used that get out of jail free card with Teddy Bridgewater, right? Like you can't keep going back to the well and throwing your quarterbacks under a bus when the same issues arise. At some point, you got to take some responsibility. And I think I attribute that to him being a first-time head coach and not understanding how the NFL works. Yeah. I want to point out this comment from earlier from Q Jackson. I may not agree with everything y'all said, but this is the best Ravens YouTube channel out there. Man,
appreciate it
very much, man. Appreciate it.
Listen, you should never agree with everything that we say. I mean, we're always right, but you shouldn't always agree. Like you should challenge what we you should challenge what we say, man. Like if you don't agree, man, challenge us, man. This, it's okay to have various opinions, right? And if we get it wrong, we get it wrong. It's all good.
Tony, listen, you better tell him you're joking or you're going to find out later. All right? No, not doing this today. Okay? Not doing this.
DeAndre Thomas.
Not cool.
What's up, DeAndre? He says he used to that with Darnold too. Yeah. He did use it with Darnold. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. I forgot about Darnold. because Don should not be there. But all right, man.
We did get another anonymous cash app. Or Coach Rhule making it back next year? Man, he's trying his hardest to get out. He's trying to get out this year. He's trying to get a little early vacation going on, and he might get it, man.
I'm sensing a little bit of Urban Meyer in him.
Yeah.
Right. Like, look, my thing with Urban Meyer is me and B, we both felt like he was trying to get fired. All right. I thought he would just quit when the Texas job and the USC jobs came available in college. I thought he would just bail for one of those jobs or the LSU job. But I think he looked at it and said, my contract is huge. And if I could just get fired, I get that guaranteed money. Right. That's a sweet, golden parachute. Right. And boy, did he get a kick in the balls, man. When they said we're firing you with cause, meaning you're fired and we don't pay you. Oh man, now he's doing 60 Minutes, right? Or he's doing interviews with what's his name, Ian Rappaport. With Ian Rappaport talking about how heartbroken he is. I bet you're heartbroken, right? You looked at your check account and it said
the same thing it said yesterday.
The pay didn't come through, boss.
Yeah.
I think Matt Rhule is looking at that too, because he signed like a 7-year deal or something like that.
Yes, he did, and it was about, I believe, $9 million a year, with incentives or something like that. But he's out there. I do think part of him wants kind of to be put to sleep, as it were, to get out without having to say I quit. Yeah. But we got to remember he did this last year with Teddy Bridgewater as well, throwing players under the bus, throwing Teddy under the bus. He can't take accountability. It's everybody else is the problem. And listen, just generally speaking, I don't have respect for head coaches who, when the owner comes to you and says it's you or your friend who you hired and they fire their friend. I don't have respect for that. And that's exactly what Matt Rhule did.
I don't.
Like, you got to listen. If he comes to you and says, "Listen, it's you or Joe Brady," you're like, "Listen, just go ahead and fire me." Then, like, ultimately, it's my responsibility, right? I'm the head coach, so it's my fault. It's one thing if he comes to the decision on his own and says, "Man, listen, this isn't working out. You're not doing a great job. We got to go in another direction." He thought it was fine. He was fine with Joe Brady until his boss told him, "No, we're not fine." So I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah. I mean, and also, like, he doesn't know, but we know it's not going to save his job, right? I don't think that bought him any time at all. I think.
What the hell is going on in the chat?
I feel like this is a bad coaching anonymous meeting. My name is B, and I'm a Panthers fan. Hi, B. He's telling you, look, he has a problem with his coach, John Harbaugh. You got a problem with your coach, Matt Rhule. I feel you, Deshaun. I feel you. Yeah.
Mikey, he said that Cam's holding the ball too long, and that's why he's under pressure. Even though everyone has eyes and everyone can see the defense running right through that non-existent O-line. Another catch up from our guy Tony.
Shout out to you, Tony.
We'll always support these brothers. Love the show. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it will go to a new mic. I'll tell you what, one of these days you're just gonna see the mic just pop up, man. We put everything back into this show.
Thank you, Ferris.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. It's just rough in here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was rough for the Giants today too. I wasn't gonna bring that up, but I just did.
Unprovoked.
He's not hurt by it, man. He's numb to it already, man. Like, this season is what it is. But
they got Jake Fromm in there today.
I will say this. Off the Record podcast. If you look at this, I'm gonna bring this up. If you look at their logo, there are 4 guys on there. Okay, Mikey is one of them, the one with the Orioles hat. Right, OTR Mike. Shout out to you, Mikey. You know where I'm going with this. To the left, right, the bald-headed brother on the left-hand side. Okay, that is OTR Brandon. That is my brother, y'all. That's my boy. Okay, I love you, OTR Brandon. You will also be donating to this mic fund here shortly, because we had a bet.
He's got almost the whole thing, right?
Yes. We had a bet. This is the 3rd year of the bet. We had a bet. This started almost 3 years ago. I said, I'll give you 3 seasons. I said, I bet you the Giants won't make the playoffs in the next 3 seasons. $60. And he said, deal.
like every over anxious New York fan will do every time.
I mean, every fan will take that.
Fans into everything.
Listen. I don't care what team you're a fan of. You're not going to say we're not going to make the playoffs for the next 3 years. Then you might as well not.
Listen, if you ask me about Carolina right now, I would absolutely not take that bet.
The next 3 years?
They don't have an O-line. They don't have a quarterback, and they're about to lose, some key pieces on their defense. They're about to lose their coach. They're not going to be able to hire a good one. I mean,
we discussed it. We discussed it. Now this might be the best.
Hold on. 1 second. We did get actually. Go ahead. I got to pull it up on the side.
Listen, this might be the best thing to ever happen to the Panthers because, right? Yes, most coaches won't take that job, but there are a bunch of black coaches that unfortunately, unfortunately, like they get the scraps. But Eric Bieniemy, Byron Leftwich, two guys that I was looking for the Ravens. Yes. I think any one of those coaches could end up in Carolina, and that will be a blessing. That would be a blessing for them. So this could turn out really well for them.
And sorry, we did get a donation from our guy Ferris. He says, "Respect, fam, all love." Thank you.
All
Ferris.
right, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what? I'm not feeling it from the rest of the chat. All right.
Is Trey Boston still on the team? I think he was hurt too, wasn't he?
Trey is out. He is not out. He is a free agent. He has not been signed, but he's ready to go now.
Yeah. Ferris wants to know why I got those straight bullets, man. I'm sorry, Ferris, man.
He's not sorry, Ferris. You know this. And
you're not mad either, Ferris. You're way more harsh than I am on your own team. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We can get back to some Ravens talk. Guys, get off your chest. All right. Get off your chest and let's move on. I
do want to say before we jump back into the Ravens, shout out to the Panthers defense who showed back up today.
Yes.
And played pretty well. Yeah. Obviously, weren't perfect, but they played a really good game. It didn't go their way. But they really got after Josh Allen. They made it really difficult for Buffalo all day long. So it was really nice to see them show back up and play well.
Yeah. So, all right. Again, guys, Ravens, it sucks. We could have had that win. John Harbaugh let us down, but it's these next 3 games I think are going to be it's going to be everything for this coaching staff, right? Like it's a ripple effect. It's not just about Greg Roman. It's not just about Wink. It's not just about Harbaugh. It's also about EDC. EDC is not in any trouble of being fired right now, but there's gonna be more pressure on him for sure, right? He's had a lot of draft picks. He's made a bunch of moves in free agency, and even though they're not gonna say, "Hey, your team's gotta win next year, or you're fired." Questions, you got to start asking those hard questions like, hey, are you making the right moves with the personnel, right? Even if it's just kind of hinted that, hey, these guys, they ain't really developing,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're spending money on this guy, he ain't really perform. Like those little nudges are going to start to happen, and EDC's been around long enough to understand that. So they have to at least make the playoffs. I think they will, but if they don't, guarantee no matter what, I think Greg Roman's gone this year. But if you don't make the playoffs, you might see Wink gone as well.
Yeah. Big Red says, I hate to say it, but I think missing the playoffs is the only way we make changes to the coaching staff. So I have mixed feelings. Mm-hmm. I agree with Jose that Greg Roman's going to be out. It's been too bad.
And there's too many
unless
people.
They really turn it around and are just on fire the rest of the season, I think he's gone for sure.
And there's too many people just exposing his lack of ability to put together a passing play. Like now, a bunch of you guys have been tweeting at us all week. We got it. We saw the article right from the Ringer. A bunch of people were tagging us on it. I don't know the writer's name, but he perfectly chronicled just the play calling from Greg Roman over the years, just with the Ravens, and how it restricts what Lamar can do and what the wide receivers can do in the passing game, just by the way it's designed. Right? And also, Steve Smith has made comments about that before. He's just like, look, this goes from beyond the Ravens. Like he was calling these same plays in Buffalo, right? Like, I mean, you see too many people in the media, too many writers. Our former coach David Culley called him out. For our current players,
former players,
yeah. They all know it's not working out, and Harbaugh doesn't like to make his friends look bad. So I think he'll ride it out this year, and then just quietly tell him, like, look, man, you need to step away, or he'll do the thing like he did with Marty Morningwig, like, hey, man, I'm not gonna fire you. I just want to give you this different position or whatever, and then have him quit on his own.
Yeah.
So, all right,
and you got to think about how long or how frustrated everybody is with Greg Roman, because players, coaches, they're not going to say things publicly about people on their staff, people on their team, period. They're just not going to do that unless they've tried to handle it internally and it's just not, it's not working.
Right.
And the frustration is boiling over.
Yeah. And shout out to King Bird, man. He's in here too. He says we're the 8th seed now. Hey, man, that's how we're playing. 3 losses in a row. I mean, we get what we get. Right? Like
I don't think they're the 8th seed though. That would put them out.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I think they're still in.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. But we're not playing well, and
they're not.
We warned you guys about Gatekeeper Twitter, man. Don't let them tell you, hey, it's all good. Hey, we had this many injuries, but Tyler Huntley played well, and it's all good. It's not all good, man. Like we still have a shot, but it's not all good.
He's right. They are 8th, man. Shout out to Indy, man. I did not even they're always just losing to teams they shouldn't lose to. Carson Wentz is always playing poorly, and then you look up and they're 8-6.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess congrats to them.
Wait, they're 8-6.
They are 8-6.
So we should be ahead of them for head should count first, right?
No, if there are multiple teams who have the same record, which there are, it's not head first.
Right.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams who are 8-6 right now, but Cincinnati is division leader, so they're not. So 4 teams are tied at 8-6.
Yeah, man.
This is what we discussed before the season too, though. It's going to be really difficult to get in the AFC. It's I thought the teams would be better, but they're all just right around that same level, and nobody can really separate. Like I said, except for Kansas City over the last few weeks, everybody's kind of just right there in that same area, in the same mix, and it's hard to separate.
Yeah. A lot of changes, a whole lot of changes need to be made to this team all season. Guys, Cincinnati is in the driver's seat. Yes, Cincinnati is in the driver's seat because a Cleveland fan told us that they were in the driver's seat, even though they were never in first place.
Yes.
And still currently are not in first place, but yes, that's what they told us. Do Saints just own the Bucks in the regular season? I guess, man.
Probably. I would imagine so. Tampa Bay been really bad for a long time. So
yeah. There are people still hating on the Ravens. They need to grow up and leave them alone. That's from Kimberly Harmon. Look, haters are out there, man. Haters exist. That's every place, everywhere, here, New York, wherever. Every team, every place has haters, no matter what. That comes with the territory. Don't focus on them. Don't focus on them.
Danity has had enough.
What an embarrassment. Harbaugh should be ashamed of himself.
I would wager that you've had enough of the entire Harbaugh family at this point. Huh?
Yeah. Andrew Mubidu says KC is still the best in the conference when you consider they have one of the highest SOV and SOS. What is that?
The victory, the schedule.
Yeah. Look, but that's what we're saying. That's what we were saying about Kansas City this whole time when they were in their slump. I was like, it's just a slump, right? You're talking about a team that's dominated the AFC for 3 years, right? I just don't expect them to stay there. Shipping them back to Michigan. Yeah. This is like I said, I feel like it will go a long way for Harbaugh if he comes to the conclusion on his own this offseason. I cannot go forward with these guys, right? Really, it should be Roman and Wink, but definitely Roman. If he comes to a decision on his own, like, hey, you got to go. I got, like this offense has to be way further along than it is. I'm replacing you. If he does it on his own, that will give him a lot of leeway with EDC and Steve Bisciotti, right? Because then they say, okay, he's correcting on his own. We don't have to tell him that, right? If they have to tell him that, then it's just like, man, he's not getting it, right? So we'll see. But the way we're playing football right now, that is not like he wants to use analytics, but we don't have an analytics based system, right? Like we have a 1998 system, right? You're still trying to be a run heavy, run first football team and play hard defense. That has nothing to do with analytics. That is old school football, and that doesn't work in today's NFL.
Yeah.
The only reason it's been working, and it says it in that article, is because of Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar Jackson is an out of this world player.
He's been an incredibly efficient passer through his first 3 seasons. And now you're seeing, he can't keep up that level of play nonstop throughout every week of his career.
That article said 2 things. The two things that made the offense work, because the way defenses played it should not work at all. The only thing that made it work were, 1, we had a great O-line. Yeah. And 2, Lamar Jackson is that dude, right? That's the only reasons it worked. Now the O-line sucks, right?
Yeah.
And, Lamar Jackson just can't carry it every week like he has been. You still see it, right? That's the only reason we're still in the playoff hunt right now. But he can't do it every single week, and that's why you see a struggle.
Yeah.
This is a terrible system we're in. Terrible. Danny says, I need a Bisciotti interview immediately. But he usually doesn't speak to the media until after the season's over. He didn't speak last year, but this year I feel like you're gonna get something from him. Spooky J says, about to pull out the 9 and do the unthinkable at the castle. My search for these stooge coaches will not be denied.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Lamar will get back to his old self again. He will play and score a lot of touchdowns. Just wait. Just give him time. Lamar's not the problem.
Yeah, no. Lamar's going through a slump like every player does. He will be absolutely fine. The Baltimore Ravens need to make it a priority to put a wall around him at O-line and make sure that they can still increase the talent level at wide receiver, but they have to make sure that doesn't fall off at any point. That's their job moving forward. Lamar himself is going to be fine.
Is there a game on tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Saints and Tampa.
Okay. Because all these games are getting moved around. I'm not sure what's what anymore. I was campaigning for our game to be moved back as well, but the NFL denied my request. But all right, we're gonna read a couple more and then we're gonna get out of here, man. I want you guys to watch some football. Watch other games. I'm gonna keep saying it, man. Watch other games, watch other teams, watch other players, right? Get an idea of how the rest of the league is looking, right? It's good that we love our team so much and we have a lot of faith, and a lot of love for the players that we have, but we don't have the best players in the world, right? So, and sometimes when we make comments about the players, that's not hating, right? When we say James Prochet, who had a catch, by the way, today, he had a catch. Shout out to James Prochet. When we say James Prochet doesn't really provide anything to the team, that's not hating, right?
All right, Big Reg, thanks for coming through, man.
Thanks for coming through, man. We're not hating when we say.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. When we say Justin Houston is
Dirty, don't do that. I seen you tweeting about it. Just stop.
But when we say Justin Houston, is good for about 5 sacks, right? We're not hating, right? Yeah. Like we're calling it how we see it. Don't just because he's a Raven, you can hope for the best. I want Justin Houston to get 20 sacks again, but just looking at his play fall off in with the Colts, right? You gotta be realistic. That's all it is. Oh, and Tyron Woodley not part of the culture anymore.
Guys, that's Jake Paul's boy.
You know what? We're not going to talk about it here. We're going. You guys need to subscribe to Ring Kings podcast. You probably won't be able to find it yet. We don't have any content up, But Ring Kings podcast, be on the lookout. We'll tweet it out or something, and we'll put it in the community tab. But that's gonna be me, B, and Mikey from Author Record Podcast. That's gonna be our new thing. We're gonna be discussing all things boxing on there. So make sure you subscribe, and you can find us on social media right now. Ring Kings Pod. Just look for Ring Kings Pod, and we'll pop up. So go ahead and follow us. You know, if you can find a channel. I'm not sure if it's searchable yet. Go ahead and subscribe, and we'll discuss some Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. We'll discuss Errol Spence. You know, is he ducking Bud Crawford? Yeah. Is he ducking him? B? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Fight against Ugas.
Yeah, he's gonna be fighting Ugas. Don't sleep on Ugas, man. Ugas is a champion. Yeah. All right, he just beat Pacquiao. So, all right, that's it. That's it, guys. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Appreciate it.
Oh, Tony subscribe. Appreciate you, Tony. Appreciate you. Yes. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll discuss this more. We gotta beat the Bengals. If we beat the Bengals, I will feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, we're going to be talking a lot more about this because we were planning to get more into basketball, but Anthony Davis is out for a month, so we're going to wait about a month. We're going to wait about 5 weeks to get into basketball. So it's going to be a lot more Ravens and Panthers talk.
Also, shout out to you guys, man, because look, most of you guys come here for the Ravens content. You know, we cover other sports. Last offseason, man, you guys rode with us in the offseason. We talked a lot of basketball, UFC, all that stuff. You know, we still talked a little bit of Ravens when there was news, but you know, we like to talk about current sports. We like to talk about things that are, you know, exciting, you know, big news stuff. And man, I look forward to the offseason again, man, because there's going to be a lot going on. You know, obviously, look, we even in the offseason, we still cover Ravens. So don't think like, you know, we don't talk about it at all. But we are definitely going to pick up on the NBA. We're big on the NBA stuff. So yeah, man. Yeah, just you know, keep supporting the channel. Tell your friends about it. We have a goal of 1,000 subscribers. Doesn't look like we're going to hit it by the end of the year, but that's okay, man. We're still going to push for it. Okay, we're still going to push for it, and we got something in store for you guys when we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. All right, so let your friends know. But in the meantime, y'all have a good night. Enjoy your week, and we will see you on Wednesday. B, do you want me to hit it?
Oh, man, listen, I got this.
Right. Okay, B's got it. B's got it, guys. B's got it. We will see you on Wednesday. Peace out.